about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about. Let's talk about. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today we are honoring National Service Dog Month. September is National Service Dog Month. And our topic tonight is the life-changing impact of service animals. My very special guest is Miss Phylise Davis, who is one of my home girls from the 305. She is based in Macon, Georgia currently, but she is a dog lover and a dog trainer, and she is also known as the Doggy Diva. Okay, I don't know if any of you have seen her on TikTok, but she has the videos of her with her fur babies doing all sorts of wonderful things. And so I am super excited and delighted to have her here with me tonight. But before I bring her on, I want to hear from you. We are live on Conversations with Nicole, Facebook, YouTube, and on the Greater Works Network on Roku TV. So tag a friend, share, like, let them know that they need to be on here, especially all of our fur baby parents, because I know there are a lot of you out there. So she's got some things that she's going to share that you probably don't know about your fur babies. So I want to get questions and comments from all of you. I know we have been going through the storm here in Florida. Thank God it has pretty much passed through, at least through Florida. And so, hoping everybody fared well. Not too many people are without power or without the internet. So again, sending prayers to those who were negatively impacted by the storm today, but hopefully we can kind of clean up and get back to life as we knew it prior to the hurricane. It is still hurricane season, and we do live in Florida, so these are just the things that we do have to contend with. But this storm traveled on up to Georgia and up to the Carolinas as well. So again, hoping everybody has fared well and has not had too much of an impact as it relates to it. So if you will, in the comments, put your city and your state so we can give you a shout out. I am donning my orange and a little bit of green. See, it says this side, FAMU alum, as I'm making my way down the state to Miami for the Orange Blossom Classic. Yes, go Rattlers. I got my Rattler, my snakes on today because I got a wildcat in the house. And I have a little extra venom for this wildcat that's about to be on here. But we still got the HBCU love. All right. So I see some of y'all out there. Nobody's really commenting yet, but that's okay. We're going to get y'all warmed up after a while. But while you all are joining us, I'm going to go ahead and read some of the bio for my special guest, Miss Phylise Davis. Phylise is a 20-year developmental social worker. She has incorporated service animal adoption and training since 2015. Her business is Beyond the Bone Boutique, as well as the Trinity Bees Pet Palace. So not only does she train animals for service, but she also does parties for our furry animals, and I tell you, she speaks their language, and they understand what she's telling them. I have witnessed her um, via video uh, talking to the dogs, and they mind her. They do exactly what she says, and they are very intelligent. So y'all help me welcome Miss Phylise Davis.
Hola. Good evening, Nicole.
Good
I'm still
evening.
jamming with your tune. I mean, that song be rocking out. Conversations
I
with
know.
Nicole. I
I
love it. I love it.
thank
All
you. I
right,
tell
Miss
people all the
Phyllis.
time, I need one more verse, and I have a hit record on my hands. Yes. So tell the peoples, who is Phylise Davis, also known as the Doggy Diva, and introduce us to your fur babies that you have with you. But tell us who you are, not what you do.
Okay, I am Phylise Davis, owner of Beyond the Bone Boutique. And I have here the sire. This sire, his name is Jesus. He goes by the name of Zeus. Say hello, Jesus. Jesus understands about 250 words.
Mm,
He's 4 years old. He is approximately 12 pounds.
okay.
He is Papillon and Chihuahua.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He has been on 6 Disney cruises,
Wow.
and he is considered guide. Guide is whereas if someone were blind and or to lead, that is what he is considered. And his temperament, once he finished service animal training, his temperament has quieted down to whereas he would be suitable for a nursing home.
Okay.
Okay. This is my only ESA. She's rescue, and Jesus was rescued from his mom, which was Bella. She was killed. She was a rescue, and I had sold him, and he was a return. So this was the company's first return, and I was like, "What am I going to do with him?" After she fixed him, and then we began to let him be serviced.
Mm.
This is Penelope. Penelope is 11 years old. Penelope is not service. She is emotional support. Penelope is blind,
Hmm.
and but she does things through hearing of command. She understands approximately uh 300 words, believe it or not, because of her age, and she still responds to treat.
Hmm.
She still responds to treat, and that was a word that was in her vocabulary before she came. So evidently she knew this word before going blind, and she's blind by age.
Okay.
Glaucoma and cataracts is something that's common in small breed dogs as they get older, and
Mm-hmm.
you see the whiteness over her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to, like anybody that is blind, deal with more senses, and she got her commands down by them within 30 days. So
Wow.
that is Penelope. Penelope is 11. Zoe, Chloe, come over here. Mama can't hold you. Come here. Come over. Very good. Come on. Come over here. Jesus, why don't you let Zoe Chloe come? All right. Very good. Thank you, Zoe Chloe. Zoe Chloe is a rescue. Zoe Chloe is a mixture of, she has a little bit of schnauzer in her. She's 20 pounds. She was raised by a pit bull. She
Hmm.
was the only girl in the house with her dad and a pit bull. But what happened was the father began to grieve because the pit bull got killed. So
Hmm.
Zoe was rescued because she developed separation anxiety really badly. She's extremely clingy, and she completed her service task um about 6 months after having her. she's very loud. So she wouldn't do well in a closed environment or for someone older. She's
Mhm.
3 years old, so she would do good with a family with small children because she needs attention and she seeks attention and she's loud. So if anybody comes up or goes, she's going to make noise. She's going to alert you. So she's with alert and to help push, but that is her task. Jesus is the most advanced out of all of them
Mhm.
because he's had to have a lot of responsibility. Zoe deals with persons with schizophrenia, and she could help them get on task by a bark to get them back on target. And I forgot to do the disclaimer that any subjects that you hear within the home, because I am in a group home, are over the age of 21 and they are consent and well able to know that they are filmed. So I just say that disclaimer because I'm in the home and they're over 21, although they're mentally disabled, they are aware and we have waivers for them to be filmed in the event that you hear something in the background within the home. But that is what when we travel, when the clients travel, each one has a different task that they do. That's what makes service animals a service animal as opposed to an emotional support. And nowadays people have made it like horrific to where you can't really do too much with them, but you do have to have paperwork. And on TikTok, if you go to the Doggy Diva, you could punch in that, paperwork for service animal. And I do all kind of videos on showing you what you would need, all the paperwork involved in order to travel, like around how much it is, and just to keep up with those. Each animal is soundproofed, and soundproof just means they have a bell. So as they travel, I can hear them, and it is good for not stepping on them because they are small breed dogs. They
Mm.
will always have a rabies shot. They are chipped, and with that, they'll have their badge to where you find them. You'll be able to tell service animals by the amount of badges that are on them because a lot of
Um,
them really don't have to wear the vest. They
okay.
wear the vest if they want to, but they don't have to. But what is the real telltale sign about service animals is they'll have a lot of medallions. Come here, mama. Come on, Zoe. They will have a lot of medallions around the neck, and
Mhm.
each one come over here, mama. Come. It'll serve as a purpose, and it also have their rabies, their chip,
Mhm.
all of their information around their neck.
Gotcha.
Even Penelope, with being ESA, she has her chip and she has her thing. Her plate says that she's blind with my information on it, and
Okay.
she still has a bell. So when she go, I can still hear her. And
Mm.
because they're small, you want to have some sort of sounder on them so that you can hear them. Because uh, one thing that is significant about small breed dogs, they are known to come up between your legs because they just like to go, and you could step on them. And
Mm.
one broken bone is like $300 to $500 at a vet easily.
Ooh, my goodness. Okay. All right. Wow. Well, thank you for introducing us to them all. We do have a few people on the live that I want to definitely acknowledge. Mr. Ozzy Daniel, who's a clinician out of Virginia Beach and was on with us on Monday. Thank you for being here. My mom,
Hey,
yeah,
mom.
down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. Miss Keosha Forston in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here, Keosha. Quasi, peace and blessings. Thank you for being here, my brother, and my sister Susan in Virginia, also a regular here on CWN. I appreciate you. My blood sister Shayla, who is down in South Florida. Thank you for being here. And my cousin Nora is here. She said, yes, very true. I have two emotional support animals.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you for
Okay.
sharing that. So, again, we kind of started this conversation when you and I, first talked. around there being this National Service Dog Month. And I did a little bit of research, and as you were talking, you absolutely confirmed some of the things that I found in terms of the types of service dogs. I found that there were service dogs associated with autism, hearing, diabetic alert, seizure
Mhm.
responses, guide dogs, as you've mentioned, allergy detection, mobility assistance, and PTSD service dogs. I didn't even know
Yes.
that there existed so many different types.
Yes. And
Hmm.
those are the people that serve for us in our country. And when
Yeah.
they come back, they need that support in so many ways
Mm.
from our furry friends. Each one of them is like right now grasping for some sort of attention.
Mm.
There's jealousy between Zoe. It's amazing that she knows that this is an additional bitch. This is what they're called, and when you deal with them, they call them by bitch and sire. But
Mm.
this is another female dog, and she knows it. I believe. I always put a handle on that. I have a video showing that I told Zoe which one was hers and which one was Jesus, and she went for the pink one. So I no longer believe that they're colorblind anymore. I no
Mm.
longer believe that.
Mm.
With watching over time, I've been in business for like since 2015, and just some things I've noticed.
Mhm.
Uh, because they are non-verbal creatures doesn't mean that they don't talk. They
Right.
just have their own language and their own way. They understand mad, they understand happy, they rejoice with you,
Mhm.
and they understand if something is done. Right now, you and I are having a dialogue,
Right.
and if I were to tell Zoe, the seconds of her just
Wait,
still,
what just
meaning
happened?
that she knew that there was a command coming, or approximately she did something wrong.
Ah, okay.
But now, if I take, do you want treat? Have you been a good girl? Yeah, okay, so this means pat. Now look at jealous over here. Nobody's talking to you. You're supposed to be the man of the house. Going on over there. Penelope, do you hear this? Now they over here fighting over attention.
I see. I see.
You are
I
something
see.
else. You are something else. Uh,
You.
they
So,
don't like you to point at them.
I'm gonna get our viewers involved. I see my cousin Rennie is on as well. She's down in South Florida. My sister just said, "Whoa." Yes, I felt all that energy she had going on. So I'm gonna ask our viewers, how many of you have fur babies? I know Nora just mentioned that she has two emotional support animals. So she said, yes, they're very smart and can differentiate between what's theirs and what's not. My dogs know the difference between their water bowls and
Yes.
doggy beds. Very
Zoe lies about not, if she wants more food, she'll stand in the bowl like she haven't eaten.
okay.
She
Wow.
will stand in the bowl. I went to McDonald's, and when I went to go grab the rest of my food behind my back, she
Uh,
went and stole a French fry.
mm,
She knew she wasn't supposed
smart,
to do
smart.
that.
So Kiosha had a question. She said, which dog is easier to train, boys or girls?
They all are, because dogs are trained by consistency. It has nothing to do, like, for example, I had some puppies that I trained to be housebroken within like 6 days. What you do is, it's just like the human being with the human bladder. Once the dog eats, it is your responsibility within, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes to begin to show them where they need to use it. They do everything by memory. Dogs are already they come with an innate ability to be loyal to one master. So Zoe is a used dog. She's a rescue. So she already had a father, remember?
Mm,
But when her dad started grieving about his pit bull, he didn't have time for her because she was too needy. Now she's a used dog, and I'm now her master, and she still obeys me because that just comes in the DNA. As
mm,
long as I say, okay, it's this. Those are the rules she's going to follow. When she's seeing the task that Jesus needed to do, she began to follow suit. I just did a video, whereas now Penelope is doing some of the behaviors that Zoe does, falling out, opening up her legs. I'm like, when we start doing that, see the jealousy. Okay, I'm talking about Penelope. Zoe, have a seat. Sit down. No, you need to sit in your spot over here. Sit down, or you're not getting a treat. Sit. Penelope, nobody asked you for your smart remark.
Oop. Okay.
And they talk, they get in each other's business. They start with all of this here. They are something. They really could get like jealous. They can get in one another's way. Everybody has their own cage, period. That's one thing you don't do, because you'll never know what's going to trigger them, what foods would trigger them. Some foods they don't mind sharing, and some foods will bring out the attack within them. And usually that's with meat.
Okay. So my mom said we can learn lessons from this trainer about children and training them. And so my cousin Nora said, yes, they are all hard to train. So she probably has had some issues with her two emotional support dogs. She further said, yes, dogs do talk. People don't believe me, but they have full conversations with you.
They really do. And they could understand you.
Okay.
Well, Penelope is new, and Penelope got her task done within 30 days.
Wow.
What I did was I told you she's blind, and I live on a main street, and I have a video about that. It got a lot of views because everybody was waiting to see this. So when we first start going out, because it's just consistent, same time every day, you can train a dog within 1 week. When we start going out, we're doing the outings at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning because it's less traffic. Nobody's going out. No cars are coming by. So when I finally did it at the 30-day mark, cars were going by, and she stayed within the perimeter. Well, that was every night between 2 and 3 o'clock, faithfully in using it. So now what I wanted to do was introduce Penelope, because they already knew Penelope, into the real world of daylight where there's cars. And when she seen that the other service animals did not go from the perimeter, she didn't go out either. So it's about consistency. So when I get up, I end up teaching Jesus. Now, what I didn't realize, and that was funny, coming in, I taught him to open the door and come in. Well, one day I was in the kitchen cooking, and I left the screen door open. He done bust out and went out. He out in the street selling out. I'm like, oh my God. Well, once you can't unteach them once they learn something. Once they learn to get out of the pen, that's it. You cannot, they're never unlearned. All they do is elevate in learning. You can't, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's a lie. You could very well teach an old dog new tricks, and new tricks among new tricks. What you can't do is unlearn their mind once they learn something.
Gotcha. Interesting.
You can't. That's like unscrambling eggs. It's no way. Once they got it, it's like next.
Okay.
I already know that. You're not going to take that away from me. When I don't want to get in the pen, I know how to get out. I'm out.
All right. All right.
So when I get out the door, I'll go.
So cousin Rennie says she has a fur baby. We got E on with us. He said, they're so cute. And then we got Javon, who is in the Atlanta area, joining us. Thank you for being here, my sister. So how did you get into this? Yeah, to give me the abbreviated version. I mean, I've heard the story, but I want to know because you know these animals really, really well, and you are, you were patient with them, but you're firm with them, and you talk to them like they're your children. So, how did you even come to getting in touch with them in this way?
Let me tell you about that. My ex-husband, this started as a family business, and I only, as you can see, my breeds are small. I always had a small dog from my cousin Stacy. I was just telling you about. Always was with a small dog, and my ex-husband, he was the one who knew I had administrative skills on how to do a business, but I didn't know about dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was when that divorce came, I'm like, okay, I was reading books, I was trying to learn, and I would notice that some guys came. I overheard him with a conversation with the dog was dehydrated, and he was like, "You're gonna have to give that dog some Pedialyte." And I'm like, "What?" And like, true enough, they are really fur babies. Like, if they get constipation, they use things like over the counter, like we use. They're literally fur babies.
Gotcha.
And when he was explaining that, while we were in the business, like the emotional support that the company gave, and I was left to deal with it on my own, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to make the best of this. So I was a former event planner, and I incorporated parties because I had gotten out there in the community. I had did something, with Santa Paws or whatever, and he was the Santa. And I'm like, man, how am I going to do this? Because once you get started, I had to deliver, and I was now divorced with still studying books like, okay, what did he say about that? And he was like, oh, with a natural bath, if you haven't anything and the dog has allergies, you grind up orange or lemon and bathe them with that. Anything citrus will keep fleas off them. I'm like, what? Like, where you getting all this
all this stuff? Right.
And he's just like a natural person. And I was like, you know what? Just let me learn. And by me just keep showing up and sticking with it. And my friend was like, girl, you know about them dogs. I said, I do. And it just, it became natural. Now, what happened with the obedience is one day the litter got out. I had a litter called the Little Rascals. And Mr. Herbert was our neighbor. And when one got out, all of the puppies got out. And he was like, I got my knife. Come over here, I got my knife. And my ex-husband went out there and said, wee, like with this whistle. And they all lined up with just the whistle. And they all lined up and came back. And remember that movie where Denzel Washington did the thing? And I was like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
I was like, how did you do that? And I was like, is it true? And I just started practicing with a firm command, consistency. And I was like, oh my God, it really works. Like, it really works, but you have to be consistent. Like, it's an innate ability that animals have. Wow. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that. And it worked.
Interesting.
It really worked.
All right. So listen, we got a couple more people that have joined us. Warren Cave, thank you for being here. We got Dr. Asha. She said, did someone say puppies? Here for it. Let me learn. Advice for life. Yes. So we are almost at the halfway mark. So while we are here, I want to share that this is Wellness Wednesday. We are talking with Phylise Davis of Beyond the Bone. And we're talking about the life-changing impact of service animals. Life-changing impact of service animals. September is National Service Dog Month. National Service Dog Month. Didn't even know that existed until having a conversation with Phylise. But she has 3 of her fur babies with her, and we are just kind of talking about the impact that they have made on her life and make on the lives of others who utilize her services or their services as service animals, emotional support animals. And so this is quite the conversation. So Phylise, tell us a little bit more about some of the clients that have utilized the dogs to assist them.
Okay, so we have had like in the community, I would provide pet and zoo, like when church events have, because they're all immunized or whatever. I'd be the petting zoo, and because the dogs are mainly kid friendly. If you notice, they are used to film. They're used to being on camera. You notice they're quiet.
Right.
So they're used to filming. They're used to traveling and filming. Excuse me, Missy.
I mean, she just got right on up, didn't she?
Zoe Chloe, you're not the boss of her. I'm mommy. You sit down. Hey, Seuss, get her.
Oh,
Sit down. Thank you.
okay.
So you don't run nothing here. Nothing here. You don't run nothing here.
Ooh, okay.
Anyway, and they sit quietly. It be so funny sometimes. I have to laugh. They are funny, but they have been trained for uh vlogging
Ah,
and uh pet pet influencer on TikTok.
all right.
So they know camera. You
Uh-huh.
want to be on the camera? Yes. Yes. Good girl. Give me a high five. Five. Hey, Sus. You want to give me a high five? You want to get a treat? Zoe wants to do it. Okay. Very good. Okay. Can you look right here on the camera right here?
Listen, listen, folks are comment and said E said September is a great month. It must be your birth month, E. Is that your birthday? Let me know. Javon wants to know the limited orange bath is a wow. Never knew it was as simple to get rid of fleas. How long does it take before the fleas go away after the baths?
That is a natural one. You could juice it with the peel. It's the peel that the citrus is after that it gives them an orangey smell, either that or lemon.
Mhm.
And it if they have like eczema, even what like the oatmeal and milk bath, but that's a natural thing. If you can't find anything to get the fleas off them, that it keeps the fleas off of them.
How long does it take before they go away? Is that something that happens kind of
It just have to
instantaneously?
be consistency. It depends on if they have an infestation.
Okay.
If you're doing a bath like once a week or once every 2 weeks, it just depends. But I would never say not give a bath after like once a month at the least
Okay.
because of the coats and all of that. And sometimes some dogs really do have eczema.
Okay, gotcha. Warren said, "This is why I love your conversations. This is a topic I don't know about or can really relate to, but I will learn from." All right, good. Warren, we're glad you're here to learn. You're here for it. We are talking about the life-changing impact of service animals. As I stated when we got started, in doing a little bit of research, I found that there are many types of service animals, which include autism service animals, hearing dogs, diabetic alert dogs, seizure response dogs, guide dogs, allergy detection dogs, mobility assistance dogs, and PTSD service dogs. So they are some worker dogs, right? So some of the clients that have engaged with the dogs, I know you've talked about them like helping with maybe opening doors or guiding them to different places or out of harm's way even, or things like that. So you have any kind of stories you can share as it relates to any of that?
I have one. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
hey, Sus, when we were coming home, my neighbor is 98 years old.
Mhm.
And when we were coming home, there was a bush over to the side, but I did not see her. Remember, by him being a dog, he was low to the ground. She was on the ground and
Mm.
she wasn't making any noise. She was just like waving for help because she'd fallen. Well, he darted over there. And I'm like, mind your own business. Get over here. And when I went over there, she was waving. I was like, oh my God, how long have you been down there? The fact of the matter that he detected it. He was able to detect it. And I was like, wow, can they really detect danger even as my own service animal? So I
Mhm.
found that out that yes, they can detect danger. And this was an old lady, in her 90s, and he was able to detect that. He just jumped out of the van and went over there,
Mm.
and I was like, wow. So I was surprised about that.
Wow. So Nora said she's going to incorporate the Bell soundproof method on her dog Sophie. She's deaf. And she said, I think that would be great to help for me to hear her at night.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially small breed dogs. Get
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah. She has two small dogs too.
Look up.
All right. So Quasi said, how are these service animals trained differently to maintain their discipline in public when they are exposed to new animals that they may be attracted to?
Well, they are naturally attracted to other animals, but again, it is your command that they do. They're not going to just dart off or whatever when you have that control and consistency.
Mhm.
That's an animal. That was one of the one things that I heard that was a telltale sign of an animal that was not an actual service animal, because they won't have any discipline or control. They
Okay.
won't have any discipline or control. They just like do whatever. Even some service animals where they can have food in front of them and their owner tell them don't eat, they won't do it.
Hmm. Wow.
I
Okay.
don't know if Penelope will go for that, but
Probably
they
not,
won't do it. They
because
won't do
Penelope like to eat.
it. Ooh, she's so greedy. Supposed to be blind, can't see nothing. I got her
Mm.
doing the TikTok saying I'm legally blind.
Oh Lord. Okay. So in terms of the work that you do with them, and again, the people that utilize them for the service, what's been some of the response that you've gotten from the folks that interact with the dogs?
Um, that they're easy to deal with. Number one, they feel like they're cute. The
Mhm.
only downfall or drawback is with their life with Disney. Children. Children do not understand that even though they're all dressed and everything, they are still working animals. And
Mm.
what they'll do is they'll go and they'll put their hand to their mouth,
Mhm.
and by this not being their owner or whatever, and hands have all type of things on it where you've eaten, they can, their senses are way uh more keen than us, and
Mhm.
they'll put their hands to their mouth and the dogs will bite them, because they don't know you like that. you know
Mm.
that's the one thing that children don't get, and a lot of adults too. And you be like, ma'am, could you keep your nasty hands out of my dog mouth? I mean, they just literally go put the hands, like, and I'm like, why do they do that? But
Mm.
that is the misconception. Now remember, before, in times past, the only dog that was really like the golden retriever or
Mhm.
like a lab, everybody, oh, that's just a service. And Zoe, don't do that. Hey, Sus, get up here. Get up. Let's go.
Yes.
They were the
Actually,
only ones, huh?
Actually, it's interesting that you say that, because in the what I looked up, it mentioned that the most common service dogs were golden retrievers and Labradors.
Right. So with a lot of other animals, because like for example, Jesus is trained for like a nursing home.
Okay.
So he's ideal because of the size.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody is older, this is another thing that a lot of people don't understand. Dogs get sick. If that big dog gets sick, what are you gonna do? Because you got to pick them up to take them to the vet. These
Mm-hmm.
dogs are like 80 to 100 pounds. What are you gonna do if the dog gets sick? Then what? So a lot of other, which has been within the breeds all the while, but people don't understand. Just like with Penelope, I mean, she's ESA because she's small, but what is going to happen when it's an old person who can't get around, or they're not ambulatory, and then that dog gets sick? They can't lift that dog up.
It might be take multiple people to lift the dog.
Exactly. I mean, they just automatically assume that, oh well, no, the small breeds, oh, they're just cute, they're not working, they're not service, they're not anything, and that's the misconception and the unlearned and ignorance with us, not understanding that, like, pretty much, I believe all animals, all dogs can be emotional support, because they give that, because they give back with dedication and love for just mere food and water. That's what you're getting in exchange.
Right. All right. Javon had a comment. She said she thought all service dogs were trained not to bite.
No, that's why they tell you, do not, remember, this animal is trained to protect
Mm-hmm.
as well as work. When you're going up to a service animal and somebody putting their hand there, you don't know what's going to happen. That's still an animal that you don't never know. That's the misconception with anything. That's why they have their own cages, because you never know what food is going to trigger them. The worst thing you could ever think is a so-called domesticated animal thinking that you have them under control when they have their own mind. No matter what kind of training that they are, that is still an animal. An animal has instincts, not mind control. They have instincts, and we don't never know what's going to trigger that. It could be a bird, it could be a lizard, or anything that will trigger them to run after. They're still dogs.
Right. Have you experienced the dogs biting you?
What happened?
Have you experienced the dogs biting you? Have they bit you?
Oh, Jesus tried it one time over a Mickey reel. Me and him got in a fight. What happened was, that's why I say you never know what's going to trigger it off. I had said yes. And I had given him, I had said, okay, no problem. It was a treat that he had earned. And I was getting ready to vlog, and I had the camera in my hand, and I just simply wanted him to wait. And when I turned my back, he had done bit me right quick. Like, Mommy, you said I can have a rib. Don't play. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what? I know you ain't just bite me. And he bit me right
Lord.
quick.
Okay.
He bit me right quick. Again, you don't never know what's going to trigger them off.
Right. So Javon said, no, my bad. Let me get together. Seriously, thank you for that knowledge.
Yeah,
Indeed.
you just never know. They are animals.
Yes. All right. Quasi wants to know, what is the approximate annual maintenance cost for service animals?
Okay, that is a very good question. It depends on if they travel or not.
Okay.
That is the main thing. If they are travel dogs, if you're going out of town, my dogs are they were travel dogs because I was a travel agent. Per dog, you're looking at about $1,200.
And that's just the travel portion, because that doesn't include, in terms of shots or.
Well, that is that.
Oh,
Let me elaborate. When they are truly serviced, they don't pay.
Oh.
They're not paying because they're serviced. They're working for a client.
Okay.
So your cost is your licensures, your permits, your all of that. They fly free. You just have to have the appropriate carriage for them to fly in, or that's why the service animals are always welcomed. But remember, they're asking for a stool test. They're asking for more than just rabies. They must be chipped in order to find them. You cannot, they must have their badges on the neck. That's why you hear all that dinging. It's a lot of things they have to have in order to be service animals, because not all the time they want to wear that vest. Sometimes they get aggravated. My dogs wear clothes. Sometimes they wear the vest, sometimes they don't. But they have the paperwork to follow them.
Gotcha. Okay. So about $1,200 a year.
It depends on body weight and what they need, where they're going. And, again, they're doing, because they have to go in places, they have to have rabies. They have to have all kind of stuff for, being around certain people, being in closed environments, being in aircrafts, being in nursing homes, being in all kind of places. They have to have those vaccinations part, and they can't be subpar.
Gotcha. All right. Kiosha is asking about chipped. What does chip mean?
Chip is something that they get them right like here. They grab them up about right here, and they insert a chip within them that matches the badge. So when they are scanned, if she gets lost or stolen, when you go to the vet, when she's scanned, all of the information will say that this dog belongs to Phylise Davis. It'll say her name, how old she is, everything about her.
So it's like her ID, Kiosha.
Yes, like a driver's license.
It's like an ID for the animal, but it's a chip that they insert in the animal that has their information.
Correct. Or, who it belongs to and everything like that.
Yes.
But they all have ID tags that has that information with my number and everything on it.
Okay. Nice. Now, talk a little bit about some of the events. You mentioned the Santa Paws or
Yeah, Parnica. I do a lot of community events with them. And just for the community as well. I give back. I've been doing that since like 2015 here in Bibb County.
okay. And so what are that particular event? What does that entail?
That's what they get. Give them gifts from the boutique. I'll have a contract to do it, or Halloween, depends on what year it is. And then I go out and service the dogs of the community. They'll meet at a dog park. We have a dog park here. And then once I secure that, I'll go out and hold a party event for
Okay.
the dogs in the community.
Nice. Nice, 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 nice. So it sounds like you are pretty busy with them, not only with training and travel sometimes, but also with community events.
Yeah. I
Mhm,
thank God for it. I can't complain. I can't complain.
mhm, mhm. So what does this do for you, this work?
It gives, I when I graduated, a friend of mine, she was just, I don't know why she put me in it, but I know it was a plan of God. She was like, "Ooh, Phylise got a degree," and she would start faxing off my resume, well, a CV, what she did, and she made me look bigger than what I was on
Mhm,
paper because I had a degree in social work. And
right.
she threw me in this developmental disability arena, and I'm like, "Well, what is that?" And the girls say, "Well, everybody here has a disability." And the guy, because back then you could tell he was an older guy, he used the word retarded
Mhm,
that they don't use at all. And I was like, what is that? She say it is a completely different arena now. And I was forced into that way because that was the job that they gave me. So
mhm,
I end up loving it once I got in it.
mhm,
And because a lot of people, when they don't understand, you're afraid of the things you don't understand. Because remember, I deal with mental disability, mental patients, schizophrenia, all of that.
mhm,
And once I got in, even with mental retardation, because people don't understand it, it's basically just somebody who has to do everything from memory. That's it. It's nothing. It's no big deal. They just have to do everything from memory. And then once I understood what the dogs bring in, I was like, you know what? I think I could do that. And I knew I could do it, with learning the different facets of it and how it helps. I mean, all of us has some sort of disability, believe it or not.
mhm,
There's something that we are slow in. There's something where there is a mental breakdown somewhere.
mhm.
All of us could use a service animal or a
Right.
therapeutic something, be it going out to eat, be it going out to get your nails done, be it whatever. We all are mental in some kind of way. The funny thing is that we don't think that we are. So that's where the laugh comes in as a social work, because when I got in it, I end up finding out how much uh, help I needed mentally in getting in it. And I was the one with the degree, you know? So I learn from the animals. I look at them. I look at the personalities. I look at the schemes and things they try to do. And it's funny because they are a reflection of what they see in the home. Like Penelope up here with an attitude because Zoe's on her side. She
Oh,
wants
okay.
to have her time with me, and Zoe's hogging up.
I
See,
got you.
Zoe feels like she could get away with stuff. Jesus is very mature. You see, he didn't get out of order not one time.
Right.
Zoe's the one that'll try it.
He's
Everybody is in their side.
all
But
right.
because of her weight, you see, she knows her weight is bigger. She's 20 pounds. She's
Uh-huh.
doing stuff
Right.
like, okay, and I'm gonna try it.
Right. Right.
Now she's getting in front of the camera.
Right.
Sit down. You're in trouble. Have a seat. You're not getting a treat. You're
Mm,
in trouble. Sit
mm,
down. You're in trouble.
uh-oh.
No, don't try to lick.
So, so Quasi is asking about, are there service animals designed specifically for people with mental health issues?
It depends on what they're trained for.
Right.
What because it could be they could be trained for whatever the need is. What is the disability? Whatever the need is, that's what they could be trained for. You have people that come from the military. What is that? Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Right. PTSD.
Yeah, they have that, and you have dogs that can pull that out. I also I myself participate in like hippotherapy, whereas with horses, you know what I'm saying, whereas horses have the ability to pull all that trauma and stuff out and take it by rubbing or riding. You know what I'm saying? And we don't think too much about the horse and all of its benefits. Like I tell people, I mean, the horse is so valuable, even its manure. If you were to put it in hair grease, you notice that the tail is way longer than the mane, right? Because it grows hair. It's just so much that they are overlooked, and they are service animals. They deal with anxiety and all of that stuff. And you're a local equestrian, they may need to ride. Back then that was our only form of transportation. It's just a lot of things that we're unlearned to when it comes to animals and what they can do. I know some people that have like monkeys or in the home as like service animals because of their intellect. They're supposed to be like next to us, and it's like you could train them to do all this stuff. Like, it's just amazing, these animals that are now, exotic animals that are coming forth. I mean, I'm like, literally, some people have snakes. I'm like, come on.
Right.
I forgot I'm talking to a rattler.
That's right. You sure are.
But the fact of the matter that some people actually have these pets in the home as like, seriously, how could you?
Right.
I mean, but with their eggs and their rats, to feed them and consider them a service animal, wrapped around their neck, and hoping they don't squeeze them or hurt them.
Yeah.
I mean, as most rattlers would do,
Listen to you. We just gonna strike. That's all. So some of us, I think, so, some of these animals are a bit, exotic, and it seems a little bizarre to us, but hey, if it works for them, that's fine. But Quasi, just to answer your question again, we talked about earlier that there are different types of service dogs, again, because September is National Service Dog Awareness Month, and so that there are service dogs for autism, for PTSD, seizure response, mobility assistance, allergy detection, diabetic alert, hearing, guide. All of these are types of service dogs. So yes, like she said, it just depends on what is needed to assist. And then your question, you said, how do they differ from typical service animals? I'm not quite understanding. Like, expound on that a little more if you can, Quasi. Dr. Asha said, I may have missed it, but are certain breeds better for service work?
All dogs are trainable. It just depends on like I gave the example about Jesus. Jesus is a small breed dog. The Chihuahua is a naturally yappy dog, very boisterous. You see, Jesus is very quiet. Once he finished the training, he became nonverbal, just quiet. So he'd be good in a nursing home. He's small. I don't think lab, even though labs are good, but I don't think a lab would be good in a nursing home because it's so big. Even a small breed can sleep in the bed with the client, you know what I'm saying, or right at the foot. It doesn't take up much space, and they still could do the same thing with its task. The main thing with the service animal is the task that it does. The task that it's trained to do. What task does this animal do? And that is what Jesus can pull up to 220. Like, if you put a leash on him, he like, mama, come on, let's go, let's move. Like, as little as he is, you be like, hey, bro, slow down, bro. You know,
Mhm.
he can go, but
He's
that is his task.
Gotcha. Okay, good deal. Well, this has been an interesting conversation. Dr. Asha said that is a good misconception to dispel regarding small breed service dogs. Yes.
Yep.
So I'm going to give you an opportunity to give us any closing remarks that you might have about the life-changing impact of service animals, Miss Ma'am.
Well, what I do is I have some giveaways for some people who
Ah,
are interested. I did come prepared. So if you are an avid reader and you want to know more about uh the doctor and dogs, your everyday medicine by having a dog, you can inbox us with your information and say that you're interested in receiving one of these gifts that we are giving away for tonight's episode on behalf of the crew. Penelope, you're giving away. Yeah, so that's what we want to do for a person who's an avid reader,
yeah.
and just to share about how dogs they add life. I mean, you could have a person where they can live alone and then feel better. Jesus, relax. They'll feel better by having animals in the home. They don't feel alone anymore.
All right. So,
Mhm.
Felice has 4 books. I've actually totally forgot about the books. So
I
if
did.
you're interested in receiving a book, put Doggy Diva in the Doggy Diva in the comments, and we will make sure to get that to you. So the first 4 people that put Doggy Diva in the comments will get you those books. All right. So Felice, tell folks how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me on social media. I am on TikTok as the Doggy Diva. If you want to see some of their parties, some of their events, just a lot of things, see them in action, dancing to a lot of music. I mean, my father was a musician, so they dance to a lot of beats and do a lot of funny things. You can see them in action doing their task around the house, coming in, going out, going in their cages, all of that. You can follow me on the Doggy Diva on TikTok.
All right, very good. And so beyond the bone boutique at gmail.com is also her email address as well. Okay, so we got someone, Miss Nora, is interested. So we'll get Nora's information to you
And
so you can
inbox
give
it.
it to her.
Mhm.
Yes, for sure. All right, very good. Well, I see a few comments. Let me see. Warren said, Nicole, ever do the math? You can 2 service dogs, $1,200 a year, and don't need bodyguards. $1,200 a month, really? You can save 12 to 15 per service a year. Okay, Warren, I don't know about that, but okay, I hear you. All right, Mom said very interesting. Susan said very interesting topic and informative. Yes,
Sit down.
following you on TikTok. Oh, we got Latanya Smith. I'm on here. Her birthday was yesterday. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Latanya.
Latoya. How
Yes.
sweet.
Thank
How
you for
sweet.
being here. She
Don't
has
be.
a fur baby, a little baby. Declan is her fur baby's name.
How many pounds?
I don't know how many pounds is Declan, Tanya? Tell us in the comments. And Declan is like a human, I'm telling you.
They
He's
all are.
real smart. Real.
Zoe, you don't run nothing here. You
Ah,
don't run nothing here. Go sit down and leave my baby alone.
yes, 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 Javon. Giving you a
Baby
happy
right here.
birthday shout out, Tanya. Nice. So, 6 pounds.
Okay.
Jiglet is an old man too, because I think she's had him a long time.
Get out of my
So
presence.
I know he's had some ailments as well. All right. Well, again, I hope you all have found this to be
Sit.
beneficial. I think this is the first time we've had any
Sit.
animals, any fur babies on the show. But
Yep. Yep.
but
Yep.
they were very well behaved, and
Except Zoe. Zoe's not getting a treat.
Zoe is something else.
Zoe's not getting a treat.
Zoe has got a mind of her own, right? She will
Ooh, yeah,
over.
she will try it. She will pull it.
She will
Yes,
try
she will.
it.
And she talks back too. Sit
Right,
down.
right.
Jesus, get her.
Right.
Go
Nora
get
said
her.
this was good. Javon, very interesting indeed. You
Sit
know,
down.
we are all about trying to connect folks and encourage mental health and wellness, and animal therapy is part of that, right? Animal therapy is part of that. We are in the middle of a stare down right now. It's about to
You
go
are
down.
in trouble.
We gonna see who's gonna win this one.
You're in
Look.
trouble.
Oh.
You're grounded.
Mm.
Jesus, push her over there.
This
Jesus,
is
I ain't none of her
boy.
friends. Come over here, Jesus.
Whew,
You my friend,
heated
Jesus.
conversation
Zoe is
right
not
here,
it.
boy.
Zoe is not my
Listen,
friend.
y'all, we gonna have to shut this down because this it's about to be a fight, a showdown over here.
Zoe said no.
This Wednesday.
Zoe said no.
Oh my goodness. All right, good people. For those of you who do not subscribe to Conversations with Nicole, I invite you to do so. We are live on Mondays and Wednesdays, Mindset Monday, Wellness Wednesdays, all about mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities, and encouraging folks to get their checkup from the neck up, and maybe a dog, maybe
Yeah.
a service animal,
Fur baby.
emotional support animal, maybe. So just want y'all to be well out there. Listen, have a great holiday weekend. Y'all be safe. Go Rattlers. And
Let's go Wildcats.
uh, 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 Orange Blossom Classic, Miami on Sunday at the Hard Rock Stadium. Be there or be square. We'll catch y'all next time. Thank you, Phylise. Appreciate you, Doggy Diva. We will check you out on TikTok, y'all. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.